What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 57th episode of the Hot Takes podcast, our last episode of the year. It's been an interesting year, for sure. Looking back on it, we had to stop doing the Hot Takes podcast for a hot 3 months. I didn't even mean to do that, but all right. We had to stop then, and then we came back strong doing an episode week by week, and I think we made up for our time lost for sure,
We've made up pretty decent timing. I think we've really been hammering the past couple months. We've just been
hammering
nonstop
out the podcast. Yeah, 100%. And we're going to take a little break after this, probably a 2-3 week break. Not just to cool down for a little bit, but also for the premiere Frank Gaming, which comes out January 1st, 2021, which is a Friday, as I like to call it, Frank Fridays. So yeah, that is that as far as our news updates. Today, because it's the holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all of the above, we are doing the top 5 holiday movies.
Woo!
And by holidays, we mean Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. But why is it? This is a question I wanted to ask you guys. I know there's some, but why isn't there a lot of Hanukkah and Kwanzaa movies? Like, your personal opinion of why you think there isn't as much than Christmas. Obviously, Christmas is huge and gigantic, but why? I feel like there should be more diverse things there.
I don't know if I want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. No. I would just say that what I would go to say, and this is, I really hope to God someone doesn't take this offensively, but for the most part, the Christmas and holiday time, I feel like is more dominated by the Roman Catholic or the Catholic or Christian audience.
Okay,
so there's going to be more of an audience to play to there compared to the Jewish or, I don't know, any of the other
Hebrew
do I say
and everything like that?
Is that what you say? Is that the word you
religious demographics.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, that's where I would say, I guess, that it goes to. Because, it's not saying there's none, but I guess that's probably, and let's just face it, Christmas sells.
Christmas, 100%.
It's irrefutable. Christmas movies obviously sell, but also Hollywood and a lot of other multi-million-dollar industries are run primarily by white Catholic men, so that's just how a lot of that shit goes down.
Yeah,
I think it's both.
I would say, though, that the movie industry is also ran by a lot of Jewish channel. It is a heavy Jewish demographic as well, but it streams back to white, and white people realize that Christmas sells.
Yeah.
But it also probably would go to say that if you probably interviewed 1,000 people and you showed them a red hat, what do you think? Do you think they'd
Christmas,
be able to say
obviously.
Christmas or Santa?
Yeah.
If you showed 1,000 people a menorah, and that's not for me to downplay it at all. A lot of people are still going to know what it is, but they might not be able to identify it as much as Mickey Mouse is the number one recognized thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
But guess what? Not everyone likes Mickey, but you know who he is. I know that's probably not the best analogy ever.
No, but you're
in
right,
general,
though.
not everyone has an iPhone, but guess what? Everyone will tell you what an Apple looks like. The Apple looks like.
Yeah.
So it's branding. You know,
100%.
you see a red hat and you're like, oh shit! You see that red bucket outside of ShopRite and you're like, you know exactly what they are.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's gonna
and
sell.
where's Santa? Because there's usually a Santa ringing a bell next to it or something like that.
It's been sad, dude. There haven't been Santas doing it this year though.
I know.
And that's probably because the suit probably gets passed around. You probably have the shift and then I take the suit afterwards.
This is true.
Which this year I've been to a couple grocery stores and it's just civilian clothes.
Yeah.
And I don't care, but you didn't even try. I'd wear a red sweater or a
just red or green holiday clothes
hoodie,
type deal. An ugly sweater, something of that nature. Yeah.
And I'm not even, again, just wear jeans. Wear jeans. You don't have to do a whole getup, but I swear I saw someone in blue pants and an orange shirt, and I was like, I want to donate to you, but I just don't this doesn't feel.
It
just doesn't feel Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
And it kind of, this year of all years, I feel like has probably been a profitable year for Christmas because so many people are longing for anything. Like, so many people are longing for, again, look at what we were talking about before the podcast. We're becoming fixated on certain things during the part of the pandemic. We became fixated on TV. Then we became fixated on DIY, so tie-dyeing and making of everything yourselves. Mm-hmm. So we become fixated, and as the holidays rolled around, everyone became fixated on being like, this year has sucked. I want to be with my family. So that's why I feel like the holidays now are even that much more amplified, and people are like, again, like you guys said, like, you want to be with your families. I want to be with my family. Everyone, and it's no judgment, Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. And it's like, we do this in a capacity of where we would love to have it more. I mean, we had to basically cancel the Among Us. I mean, surprise, we're going to do, Frank's going to do Among Us eventually.
That's right.
But, like, you basically had to do that because a couple people backed out. There's probably one or two people that were like, oh, like, I don't want to,
Not too comfortable with that many people being there,
and that's
right,
fine,
right.
And again, like, it's like, wear the mask if that's how you feel, or don't go if that's how it works out. But, like we're saying, it's just, we're becoming fixated on what to do now that we have so much to do. We have more time than we've ever had in our entire lives.
Right.
Like, you used to go to school. You'd get up in the morning to get dressed to go to school, eat your breakfast, get ready to go to school. Then you went to school, did school, came home, did more schooling, did an activity if you had it, whatever it might be, watched a little bit of whatever, went to bed, did it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, there's people that are waking up and you're like, shit, it's 11:45.
Routines got scrambled.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So it just, it's been a crazy year. But that's what I would probably say is, like, the reasoning for it.
Yeah.
But
so, two things to lead off with you there. The thing with the red buckets and, like, not there being a Santa and whatnot. I was surprised to know that they were still doing, like, a Santa Claus in the mall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the person that is Santa, that plays as Santa Claus in the mall, there's two of them. One of them came into the ShopRite.
The liquor store?
The liquor store. Yeah. I wanted to, like, refrain from saying liquor store at first, but that's why I just said ShopRite. Santa's getting his alcohol, baby.
It's like, shit, long day.
But that's one thing I wanted to bring up. I was surprised about that. I don't know if, like, kids are, like, sitting on his lap. It might be a 6 feet apart picture or something of that nature. I don't really know how it works, but I was surprised about that.
I was just going to make a joke and say, like, isn't it funny that, like, we have to stand, like parents are finally realizing they have to keep 6 feet away from Santa. Like,
oh,
it's just
yeah.
from a quarantine. Like, it's not because of, like, a perverted Santa.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Just
And the other thing I wanted to bring up, and really to speak to the audience about that, I was like, we all know it's hard this year too to, like, get everybody together. It's really not possible, and if it is for you guys, good for you, but for the most part, it's not that possible to get literally everyone together for the holidays this year, which stinks.
Yep.
But all I'll say about it is to make the best out of it. Zoom call them, at least talk to them on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And do it that way. Hey, listen, it's the best that we can make of it. That's pretty much it.
Excuse my language. The fucking amazing thing is that, like, we live in a generation now that you have accessibility to it, and it's still not it's not the longing for the physical contact. It's not you hugging your grandparents or hugging your aunt and uncle or your parents if you're out and whatever. It's not that, but I mean, we live in a society now that you can turn your phone on and FaceTime with someone. That you can physically see them in front of you.
Yeah.
And again, it will never substitute or replace that. But, like, I always kind of go back, and it's like, dude, go back 100 years. I was using my GPS today. I was like, I don't know how people would have done this. Like, if I'm just driving along and I made the wrong turn, how I would do. So, you got to take it how you can. And again, this is the year of compromises, and the biggest thing that I think we should take into the next year is that, like, make compromises, don't make excuses.
Yes.
Because you making an excuse and being like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to see my family, like, that's that. They'll have fun. I'll text them the day of. That's great and all, but, like, call them in the morning. Like, do a gift. If you live close enough and you just don't want to be together, like, drop the gifts off, clean them down, and then do, like, a Zoom gift giving, whatever it might be. But, like, make the compromises to make it feel as normal as it can so that next year you guys can be like, that sucked. Let's never do that again. You know? And it's going to be that much more of a better holiday. Like, Thanksgiving next year is going to be a rager
Yeah.
for everybody. You know, like
especially
hope-
Thanksgiving Eve
knock
if
on-
everything's
knock on
better
wood.
with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hopefully we can all, everyone. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I want nothing to do with Thanksgiving Eve next year because that's going to be a nightmare.
Me
People are
neither.
going to be like, yo, how was your quarantine, bro? Haven't seen you since 06. It's like, dude, I literally live a block away from you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, have you guys ever seen the Trevor Wallace skit about the people that never grow up?
Yes,
No,
yeah,
I
I have.
Yeah.
Trevor, he's
Dude,
great.
You gotta watch the one he did. The one he did with the kid that never leaves his hometown, and he's in the bar like the night of Thanksgiving Eve. It's so spot on because he's just like, yeah, bro, you know, remember senior year when I threw for 600 yards? You know, just like talking about that because it's like, dude, we're 25 now, like. That's awesome and everything, but we were 15 then, you know, so like he's talking about it. Dude, it's so fucking funny. But no to Thanksgiving Eve on my part.
Yeah. I've had a couple of crazy Thanksgiving Eves that I'm just over it now, basically,
Yeah?
for the most part. Yeah, retired.
I'm retiring. I'm hanging the banner right here, the Thanksgiving Eve banner.
All right, we really don't have that much of a news roundup this week. We could bring up Mandalorian if we want to, the season finale, but
I didn't watch it.
we have someone here
I
who didn't
actually
watch
only
it.
saw the first episode of the season.
You need to catch up, my friend.
Dude, I thought we were gonna watch it with Joe. I never got hit up.
I barely watched it with Joe either. I only
you-
watched.
That's what we did last year.
Well, you
so
can
Yeah,
watch
that's
it as
true,
what's
too.
it called now? You can watch it on Disney. Can't you watch as like a joint streaming thing? Did you see that?
No.
What?
I think they have it. I think they have that. I swear
What
to
does
God.
that mean?
It's like you can watch it like with somebody.
Oh, what the heck?
Oh, on
Yeah.
Disney Plus, like
Yeah,
a watch party
I'm
kind of
almost
deal.
positive because like before the holiday, me and my girlfriend were talking about it and we were saying like because Netflix. Did you guys see that Netflix had it a couple months ago? They had like an extension that you could apply and you could like FaceTime with someone while you guys watched the movie together.
wow.
I like downloaded it and never used it and I was like shit. But now I think Disney Plus has something similar to it.
Interesting.
I don't know exactly, but yeah, I mean.
That's a cool, innovative
Listen,
thing to do for quarantine and
Joe,
whatnot.
I hope you watch this because you're a knockoff Star Wars fan. I'm going to call you out right now. Because number one, you're not here, so I can't talk shit to you. But number two, how are you letting Jesse not consume some of the best Star Wars content that we've ever gotten and taking one for the team and watching it with him? That's just
I
wrong.
don't know.
That's just
what it is
wrong.
with him.
It's
These
dude,
squares are just moving whenever you move your face, right?
Yeah, it's the focus.
it's
Focus
just
square.
it's just absorbing his face. It's absorbing his soul.
Okay.
Yeah, no spoilers. I will say whatever. It was amazing. This season was very good. I would put it on par with last season. I think this season had less fan service in like a better way. So there was still a lot of fan service this season for
Yeah.
us, but it was like I think they blended it a little bit better compared to last year, which like a lot of people thought it was too campy and a little bit too much fan service, which like again, ex-coworker of mine who will never watch this and always just shit on the show. You're playing to an audience. I've said this a million times. Like, this is for the people that watched the original trilogy in the theaters. This is for the people that watched the prequels in the theaters. And the people that watched, oh my God, I'm sorry, the newer generation that had to watch 7, 8, and 9 in the theaters. So you're playing to everybody. Like, you can't just make it a dark, violent show.
Yeah, right.
Guess what? Disney wouldn't pick it up.
No.
So, you know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But I think this year, I mean, dude, this year they got movie money budget. Like
They did.
This year
They did.
was such a good budget.
I
But
thought
it
the
was great.
season was fantastic.
It was awesome. And that's coming from a not a non-Star Wars fan, but not as...
Getting there.
We're getting in there.
We're getting there.
We're moving them up the ladder, man. I can't wait.
This is true. I told my friend this, who's also been bugging me to talk to watch Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I said I'm watching the finale of Mandalorian today.
Okay.
Then I'm planning on watching
you
all
didn't
the.
watch the finale?
I did.
Oh.
Well, this is when I was talking to him the other day.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm about to watch the finale. Then I'm gonna rewatch and watch all the movies in order.
Oh, which order?
I'm gonna go prequels, then
1, 2, 3, 4,
1,
5,
2,
6,
basic-
7, 8,
yes,
9
yeah.
with the stuff in the middle?
yeah,
Gotcha.
that, and
Okay.
then I'll move on to Clone Wars.
So
I
you're going
told
to do
him.
Solo and Rogue One too, though, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
what's beautiful in Disney Plus,
It just goes, right?
Yeah, they kind of have it in the timeline of when each thing happens.
And I think if you watch it, it'll like seamlessly just transition to the next, if I'm not mistaken.
I've never really binged watched anything on Disney Plus yet, so I don't know if that could be it.
I think I've rewatched Mandalorian where it's done it, so like
okay.
I would double check and see, but like it definitely should. I would think there might be some confusion with the transitions, like after episode 3, after episode, like seeing exactly, because like will episode 3 go right to 4? Will it go to Rogue One? You'd have to see.
Right.
Minor piece of advice: if you really want to get like wild with it, watch 1 and 2, and watch Clone Wars.
That does make sense.
And
Yeah.
then watch 3.
Okay. Yeah, I might do that.
Or you could watch 1, 2, and 3. Watch Clone Wars. And then, like, have a better understanding of it going into 4, or going into Solo, going into 4.
I might do that.
Rogue One going into 4.
Yeah, right.
That might be something for you.
Okay.
Too. So check it out. But
I think you need to text me like a timeline of what to watch, and I think I'll do it that way.
Don't worry about that. I will give you. Did you see my video of my grandma with the Darksaber the other day?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was funny.
Dude, as soon as that episode ended, I bought that. As soon as I heard Walmart got it, I was like, shit, I gotta go to Walmart for something. I was like right in the toy section, like digging for it. I'm like, where's the freaking Darksaber? Because I have all these other lightsabers from growing up and from now because I'm a young adult that still plays with toys. But it's so much fun.
So that's pretty much it for News Roundup. We did a gigantic News Roundup last week with everything that came out news-wise. So
it was just a news roundup.
Yeah, it was just a news roundup, right? So we're good on that for this episode. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our one and only topic, the main event for tonight, which is the top 5 holiday movies of all time. Our list here, I know a couple of us have honorable mentions, so we'll get to that first. Jesse, I remember you telling me you had a TV special as an honorable mention that you wanted to bring up.
Star Wars TV special.
There are a lot of great TV specials, and I tried to limit myself to just one. From a show I recently watched that recently got released on Hulu and Netflix. It's Community. Everyone should be watching Community. It's made by Dan Harmon, who makes Rick and Morty, and it's directed by the Russo brothers, who did the Avengers and all that. The episode's called Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, and it's the best Christmas special I've ever seen in any show, and it's a fantastic honorable mention. It would have been on my top 5 had this been extended to TV and movies.
Okay. I did have 3 honorable mentions on the top of my head, but one that'll bring up now that I just remember only is Die Hard. I do consider it a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Because I literally just watched a TikTok before we started filming. It happened on Christmas Eve. It was at a Christmas party.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's an action Christmas movie. A hybrid,
Yeah.
It's basically a hybrid. I have another hybrid on my top 5.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what I got right now. I'll think of more if you have any right now.
I'll rattle all my honorable mentions off, and we won't say if anyone's on the list or not. But 8 Crazy Nights is a good one. I don't think I was looking it up too because I wanted to see how the ratings would go. 8 Crazy Nights with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
It has a 23 on Metacritic and a 12 on Rotten Tomato. One thing I will say about holiday movies is that this list for me is very much about my nostalgia with growing up with it, and not maybe as much about how good the movies are.
For the most part,
because
for me too, yeah.
Jingle All the Way is in my honorable mentions, but oh boy, was that a bad movie. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where they're going over the Turbo Man doll.
Never seen that one.
I never even heard of it.
You guys have never seen Jingle All the Way? Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad, but it's such a good, bad Christmas movie.
I have some nostalgia fuel.
Oh, dude.
Well.
Miracle on 34th Street.
I've heard of that one.
I used to watch that when I was little, with my family every Christmas. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was not a movie. Don't say anything on your top 5.
Oh, no. That was on an honorable mention. Yeah.
That was for me a movie that I would always put on, but it was never for me, and maybe it was just because it was a little bit older, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's still funny, but it wasn't my thing.
I told you what's good with that.
Die Hard was on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Santa's on mine. Charlie Brown Christmas, surprisingly, just because I always remember that being on I feel like it was on Thanksgiving too, but like the Thanksgiving special for Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
And I'd watch that when I was little, and then I'd be like, oh, like I can't wait for the Christmas one, and then I'd watch the Christmas one, so it kind of tied in well. And then Batman Returns.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Dude,
yeah, Batman Returns is a good one.
I was gonna put Batman on mine too, but I couldn't remember what the title was. So
Batman
I just
Returns.
left it off.
Yep.
I knew I'd get a kick.
That's a good one.
I knew it.
So that's mine. I have my 5 and 4 are like dead split down the middle, and I'll explain them when I get there. But that's like what I got right now.
So Batman Returns and Lampoons or Lampoons? Lampoons, whatever.
I think it's National
either.
Lampoon. I usually say.
Okay, yeah. That holiday vacation one I liked. I like those movies. I think some of them are obviously much better than others, but that one was all right. And the other one I'm going to bring up too is A Christmas Story. It might be on your guys' list.
I was expecting it to be on both your lists.
Nah, you see, it's a good movie in my opinion, but it's just not up there. It has some of the most iconic scenes, and I think what's killed it for me is that it's on 24/7 on some channels during the holiday season.
You could argue for many Christmas movies.
But Christmas Story is
Christmas
on
Story. I think
all
Christmas Story
the
is on
time.
TNT. I think I'm not even kidding. The whole day of like Christmas
I
Eve
do
and
believe
Christmas
that.
Day.
Yeah.
So like, yes, there's other channels that are throwing some other in. Like TNT, I think plays that movie for like 72 hours. Straight.
Yeah.
Just like, yep. What are we watching next, family? Just it again, you know.
So those were all my honorable mentions there. I'll start off with my 5, your 5, and keep on going that way.
Rotation.
All right, my number 5. This is the other hybrid movie I was talking about.
Ooh.
I'm sure this is on your list because I know it's a much favorite movie for you, so I won't talk too much about it. But The Nightmare Before Christmas, it's one of its kind with the hybrid that it is. It's a Halloween and a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I am a Tim Burton fan, and that's one of his most iconic, best films in my opinion. Jack Skellington is amazing. And the music in it too is incredible.
So well, I mean, it's also like we'll talk about it later, but like it's a amazingly put together movie for like what it was.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could only imagine how
believe that
painstaking
came out
it
in
was.
93.
I mean, dude, let's talk about a movie that does not get credit like that movie because of like what was put into it. Like, we're actors, we can act. That's not acting.
Nothing
that's
beats
voice acting, which
voice
is great,
acting
but,
with like stop motion.
Is it stop
almost
motion
for the most part?
claymation, right?
Clay
It's
animation,
it's
yeah,
claymation,
clay animation.
stop motion.
Yeah. So
Who was that? Do you guys remember?
kudos to them.
This is a just complete like brain blast. Do you guys remember what was it? The claymation Bob. Do you remember those YouTube videos? It was like that blue Bob that was on YouTube all over the place. It was like a little claymation person.
No.
If anyone remembers that, please go in the comments because I don't want to feel like a fucking idiot.
I'll
or
have
a
to
loser.
look it up
I'll have to deep
afterwards.
dive it later. I'm gonna look it up on YouTube, but regardless.
Yeah.
You done with
That
yours?
was my
Okay.
number 5. Yeah.
So my number 5, I had a tie between Tim Allen's The Santa Claus or the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer claymation stuff, the stop motion stuff. Both of those movies, like I vividly can remember like watching them as a kid growing up, waiting for Christmas to like be right around the corner.
Yep.
And like that's what I think like again kind of goes back to the whole fact of like Christmas sells and like Christmas sells to the young generation of people that get excited for it, even regardless if you don't believe in it. And like it's sad because I really do hope that like the generations that are growing up like behind us still have that love and enjoyment. Like,
Yeah.
I love the holidays just because I get to kind of hang out with my family and watch those silly movies and remember when I was a kid. And I hope that like the kids that are younger than us can like remember that same way, because like it's gonna suck when they're older and like they're miserable and don't want to watch those movies and they're like, oh, I'm not interested or whatever, because you know, once you have kids and stuff, that's gonna make your life a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, when you got to do all that. So mine was that, and then the Rudolph one I always loved. I mean, like, Tim Allen's one was great just because, like, I think everyone loved the concept of, like, him becoming Santa Claus on accident.
Yeah.
And then the Rudolph one was, like, I put it at my tied for 5 because I just don't think it gets enough love. Like, I think it's one of those movies that people are like, oh, it's on and stuff, but like, you know, it deserves more credit for what it actually is.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's my 5.
Okay. What you got?
For my number 5, it's a nostalgia pick, but I wanted to say on Rudolph really quick. Unironically, I was like scared of the way that movie looked, even though I love The Nightmare Before Christmas and style. Like, and the weirdest thing is, like, I was not afraid of Bumble, like the big abominable snowman.
Yeah.
Like, he is my favorite. Like, I always thought he was like cute when I was a kid, but the rest of them, that little boy that wanted to be a dentist, like, creeped me out.
Just terrified
me out. But
Before you move on to that, is that still recording there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
My number 5 is a cartoon movie I watched as a kid. I don't know if you guys will remember it. That's why I have a picture. It's called Olive the Other Reindeer. And this is the picture. It used to be played on Cartoon Network all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I loved that shit.
Yeah,
we used
Olive
to...
the Other Reindeer.
Yeah.
I gotta like look that up so I remember to watch it later too.
Yeah,
Dude.
I like that one a lot. It's never ever talked about ever. And then I saw one of my friends tweet a picture of Olive the other day. I was like, whoa, I love that movie.
Yeah, I loved that thing, dude.
I really want to watch it again, but I have no idea where you would find it. Like, I might have a VCR buried somewhere, but like, I don't
Amazon for $14.39 hardcover. That's
know.
not.
Dang.
It was $19.99.
Dude,
All
it's
right.
a classic.
That is
It
a
should
classic.
be a classic.
I totally forgot about that.
I
I'm
think
so
you might
glad
be
you
able to
brought
watch
that
it
up.
on YouTube.
Oh, for real?
It says 45 minutes and 30 seconds, 1999
Yeah, it's
one.
pretty
So
short.
yeah, look,
Yeah, Olive
1
the
million
Other
views. Oh well, it's telling me to.
Olive the Other Reindeer. That's the one. I love
That's
it.
a sleeper pick. I love that.
Love Olive.
100%.
You love Olive. We stand with Olive. This is an Olive related podcast.
Alrighty. My number 4 is Elf.
Oh.
Elf is a fantastic movie. I am such a big Will Ferrell fan, and he killed the role. Also directed by Jon Favreau. I saw a meme the other day. Created an instant classic Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Started up the MCU basically with Iron
Iron
Man,
Man, yep.
and saved the Star Wars franchise.
Yep.
So he's a legend basically.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Elf is fantastic. It literally did become an instant, not even cult classic, just a instant classic for
I think it's a
the
cult
holidays.
classic. Like that's.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's a classic, but like I would say it's a cult classic. Like I just like that's that movie that I feel like everyone like. Even if you don't maybe like it as much, like if it's on in the holidays, you'll probably be like, okay, like
Okay,
I'm gonna watch that, you know?
definitely.
I'll skip you this round because literally my number 4 is also Elf.
All me, listen,
Okay.
you're all good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of, I heard it. He's like, me too. I'm like, shit.
So yeah, I just love Elf. My favorite scene is when they're in the snowball fight and he just makes like 80 snowballs. Like,
Yeah.
in 2 seconds.
Oh, it's just yep.
Boom! Like, dude, that I like Elf.
I was
Elf is
actually before you told me you had these, and like I'll also point out that like if this isn't showing how fucking huge my head is, then I don't know what is, because my noggin, like, look at his. He has plenty of space. Look at
Yeah.
you can fit fingers between your guys. Guess what? You can't on mine. I can't even pull this shit down. Like big head problems. But I actually was gonna buy an ugly sweater that says like "Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad," because I think that's one of my favorite parts of the movie. But instead, I went online and they were selling. There's a headband company that I shop with. They're called Junk Bands, and they just make like workout headbands. And I bought one of those instead. So I've just been wearing it around my house like whenever I can. So I just put it on. It's just like the narwhal coming out of the water, like "Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad." Like I literally say that all year round. So I was like, this is a headband I need. Yeah, but that's it.
One of my favorite scenes was when he first gets to New York City and he's like hopping on the crosswalk thing. He's taking the gum from the railings and stuff like that. I thought it was just a fantastic movie in my opinion.
So I'm 4, right? Number 4.
Number 4.
So I'm doing my number 4. It's a tie between Nightmare Before Christmas, like I said, and Home Alone. My top 5, it could change with just like a slight breeze. You know, it's kind of just like how I watch it during the holidays and stuff. I think Home Alone is great. I think everyone thinks Home Alone to a certain degree is great for the holidays and stuff. But like that's just another one of those movies that like just during the holidays it's that much better. Like you don't want to watch it any other time of year most likely, but once it's on in the holidays you just feel comfortable and you're like, this is great. Like this is this is a good movie, even though it might not be the best movie ever. It's like, this is great. Like Christmas is awesome. So and then Nightmare Before Christmas, I mean, you guys touched upon it. Like, speaks for itself with just how good it is, like how much of an underrated movie it is.
Yeah,
I think it actually, if you look up like best Christmas movies, it's like, I think if there's a list of like, I was looking at one list of like 100, and I think it's in like the top 5 ratings wise.
Wow.
Dude, it's one of the best
of
movies
Christmas
of all
movies.
time.
I think it's got a 92 on Rotten Tomato, if I'm not mistaken, which like is light years better than like a lot of the movies that are gonna be on my dude.
Dude, that movie is genuinely a cinematic masterpiece.
Oh yeah,
it could potentially be Tim Burton's
best movie.
Yeah. What is that like fancy word for like your peak performance? Oh shit, I forgot.
I know what you're trying to say too.
I don't know.
Is he Edward Scissorhands? Burton?
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
That's a Christmas movie too.
95%. You were right. You were
95?
right on. Yep.
Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, I wish I put that on my.
I was
Is that?
gonna put
I
it on
never
my
watched
honorable-
that one.
What? You've never seen Edward Scissorhands?
I never watched Edward Scissorhands.
Dude,
Yeah.
I watched
As
so
big of a
much
Johnny
Edward-
Depp fan that I am, I have never watched Edward Scissorhands.
That's
Edward Scissorhands is a goat. Like,
That's,
one of the
that's-
goats.
fuck. What's her name? Don't say it. No, I want to say Shania Twain. It's not Shania Twain.
It's probably the girl that you showed us when
It
we
is,
filmed that
yeah.
episode the other day.
Yeah, I forgot her name, but she's in. No,
No.
It wasn't her.
That's
It's not
that's
her.
Keira Knightley and Natalie Portman. This is
I don't know.
Winona Ryder. Ah, I'm the best.
You see that? I would need to see a face still.
She's in Stranger Things. She's Will's mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Winona Ryder.
There we go.
She's blonde in that movie. That might be why.
Oh, another thing about Elf too. I didn't realize this till last week or something. The girl that plays Jess from New Girl, what's her name?
Is the blonde one?
Is the blonde? Yeah, is her. That had to have been one of her like first
also
movies.
Recently said they'd be willing to do a sequel if the script made sense. So
If it made sense, yeah, but I don't really want them touching it.
I want a sequel, but
Wow.
they
Yeah.
both said they're willing.
Winona Ryder.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Will's mom from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like their not their first. That might be their first movie, but like that's one of their like movies that kind of got their career like up. and
Yeah,
started,
like
you know?
jump started basically. All right, cool. We so your number 4 was Home Alone and Nightmare Before Christmas.
Correct. So
Alrighty.
3.
You go to 3.
Oh yeah,
You did 4.
Okay. Alrighty. My number 3. This one, in my opinion, is a sleeper. I love this movie. I remember seeing it in the movie theaters and absolutely loved it. It's Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
No,
I
man.
I really like that movie.
I think
the fact that Santa Claus has a brother, I thought that was a very interesting concept, and he wasn't the nicest guy in the world either.
exactly,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, it's-
I
Just a mortal man that
just a
lives in
mortal
Pennsylvania.
man,
mortal
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
right.
Exactly.
And then him
Lives in
having
Philly.
to, yeah, him having to take over Santa's spot for that Christmas and deliver all the presents and everything like that. I thought it was a very good story. I do think it's a sleeper. I think it's that good. But obviously it's not that talked about because it probably didn't get the best reviews, and I'm assuming a lot of people just didn't like that movie in general or just forgot about it.
I mean, that was, listen, I think part of, again, like what we said with this is it's the nostalgia of it. Like you watch these and you're like, oh man, like I remember that. Like Jesse's like, oh, I hated that movie.
Yeah,
you know? But,
right.
Like, it's this nostalgia of being like, I hated that movie, you know? So like
And
at the end of the day, that's kind of what Christmas movies are. They don't have to be good. Like when I tell you guys you need to go watch Jingle All the Way, because you'll understand why like a small part of me is like, that's like such a good movie, but you'll also be like, holy shit, this is a load of garbage. Like, and that's why I like it so much, because I'm like, this movie sucks, but like I'm like, yeah, like Christmas,
I
my
remember
childhood.
it sucking.
Exactly.
And I couldn't think of who played Santa in Fred Claus, but it was Paul Giamatti, who
Yeah.
I also love as an actor as well, and he played a good Santa
I
Claus
thought you
as
were
well.
gonna say it was Vince Vaughn.
Oh no!
Also plays Santa Claus. All right, so before I do my number 3, I thought I'd bring a little treat. It's very smaller this time, but we brought some Ghirardellis.
Alrighty.
There you go. You're good?
thank you.
No Ghirardelli? You want a mint one or no?
I don't eat chocolate.
No chocolate. All right, well, that's better. I have an extra one then.
So milk chocolate caramel?
Milk chocolate caramel and dark chocolate mint. So I'm going to do mint first because I like mint more, but I like the caramel one better. So I will enjoy the other one.
Oh, this one's
more.
Melty.
Yeah, they've been in my pocket for about 25 minutes.
I think this is making it better, though.
Okay. So here's something I have to bring up on the podcast, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's everyone's feeling on mint chocolate chip. Mint everything.
I tend to like mint things, but I don't eat that many things. So, like, I don't like mint ice cream. But
like, just in general, you don't eat a lot? Is that what you just admitted on the pod?
That's literally it.
Jesse wakes up, cuts a grain of rice in half, goes about his day drinking just black coffee that counts as 0 calories.
Yeah, no. I like mint in general, though.
I like mint, too, but I don't prefer it. You'll barely see me eating any mint-flavored things. Even candy canes. I liked them as a kid, but now I won't eat them.
See, I'm like a mint chocolate chip fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love mint chocolate chip. It's like my favorite thing in the entire world. Like, I only get mint chocolate chip ice cream.
You like Yorks?
I do like Yorks. I don't love them.
Okay.
Like, honestly,
or peppermint patties?
I get the new Kit Kats are phenomenal. The dark chocolate Kit Kats, the mint dark chocolate Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. Mint Oreos are a sleeper. Like, mint Oreos are great.
Okay.
I usually get the mint Oreo thins. They're so good because you can just pop them.
Yeah, I'm sure those are good.
You just sit there like boom, boom, boom. But that's me. So, Frank, what are you giving it?
I'll give that like an 8.9.
Okay, wow. Look at that.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I think Ghirardelli definitely has a leg up. I'll give it an 8.1. Like, they just make really good chocolate in general.
100%.
So now we go on to the milk chocolate caramel.
Alrighty. Let me turn this back on real quick. Alrighty. Milk chocolate caramel. Caramel's my favorite.
Is it?
I love caramel.
So that's what's in your coffee when you come in with a 64-ounce
Oh,
iced coffee?
yes, sir. Caramel Craze Iced Latte from Dunkin' Donuts. You won't regret it. Amazing.
I think you will regret it. I hate Dunkin' personally, but... No, what we should do? We should do a debate podcast one time. But, like, not on, like, politics. Like, on foods and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I've been thinking about doing debate type of episodes.
On things that matter.
On things that really matter, guys. Come on. We're focusing on the wrong things here.
Like my polls. Rest in peace, my polls, if you guys ever took part. I miss doing those, but... Bro, there were too many people that just... Everyone had a voice, and I'm all good with that. But, like, I was spending so much time creating these polls. Like, dude, it was a lot. Like, there's a lot of, like, photoshopping and editing on my phone.
know.
I'm doing this all on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going on Snapchat, cutting it out, putting it on the same picture, and I'm going on Instagram, writing it all out, tagging this, doing whatever. Then I'm having to memorize or, like, set an alarm for the next day so that I can get the poll results, put them up. Mm-hmm. And, like, I had so many people that are like, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why are these rated this way? I'm like, just fucking vote and just get away from, like, you know, I'm doing this.
It means you got a fan base, though.
No, I loved it, and I still enjoy it. But, again, it's like, I also didn't like because I would see that, like, so many people were involved in looking at it.
Yeah.
Or at the top of my, like, views with it. Because, like, the higher you are on views, like, the more you look at the person's profile kind of a thing. I could see that those people were there and doing it. And I'm like, hello? Like, you know, I'm, like, sitting there. I'm like, you didn't vote. Like, it goes down to the whole, like, American thing. Like, vote.
Yeah, right,
It's
right.
like, if you pass this and you, like, don't tell me you were scrolling through. You clearly saw that there was a poll on there. It can't be disguised. So fucking vote. And then don't be the ones, because there were so many people that were like, oh, like, you know, I don't even vote anymore. It's like, whatever. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Unfollow me then.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know, don't complain about it. Like, or so people would be like, I don't even vote anymore because these are just silly. Like, you should do this. I'm like, I did that 8 months ago.
Yeah, right.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
Got to keep it original.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to do different shit.
All right, so what are you giving that?
Think that made me realize I only like caramel and coffee for the most part. So it just might have been a little too sweet for me.
Okay.
I'll have to give that like a 6.7. That's my take on it.
All right, I love those. I used to, like, my mom would get me the bag. Like, she'd get it for Christmas, and I would tear through those before it even hit the bowl. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I just think it's solid. Like you said, the older we get, I feel like we realize, like, oh, shit, I can't eat that much sugar anymore.
Yeah,
your body goes into diabetic shock.
Yeah, right.
You know? But, you know, that would be where I'm at with mine, so, like, 8.5. So,
all right.
Now we're doing number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, number 3. Actually, wait.
You did 3.
I did 3. You got to do 3.
Ready?
Yep.
The Grinch.
Ooh, okay.
Jim Carrey's The Grinch. I will pair them together and say that the cartoon Grinch, not from 2018, but I heard that one is pretty good. Is
The
that
Illumination
is that
one?
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Benedict Cumberbatch voices
Okay.
Grinch in that
I heard
one.
it's pretty good.
Didn't watch it. Don't care
The
for it.
old cartoon one is like a
Fantastic. Yeah.
But that was another one that like I would watch, but when a live action one came out, it became what I consumed because it was my go-to with it. I don't know if you saw the thing I think like is most interesting about it with Jim Carrey and what he had to do for the movie. Did you hear about this?
Well, with the makeup, right?
makeup,
like hours and hours of
so
makeup.
he had to get trained by, I want to say it was like the CIA or the FBI in interrogation and like violent interrogations because it was so long to put it on, it made him feel like he was being buried alive.
Oh.
That was the feeling that he got having to put the makeup on every day. So they had to train him to like be comfortable getting it put on him.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Like, that also goes to add to me for be like, bravo, man. 'Cause, like,
100%.
there's some, I mean,
It's a total transformation.
oh my god. But
Yeah.
like, I think the really amazing thing with like actors and actresses is like a lot of people just sit there and they go like, oh, well, they make millions of dollars and they don't do shit. Okay, a lot of them might do that. Like a lot of them might have that attitude. But guys like Jim Carrey, Joaquin Phoenix, Leo, like there's guys that will do like
Christian Bale,
Jake
too.
Gyllenhaal, Christian Bale. Those are guys that will do disgusting things to get into character.
Yeah.
Look at what Christian Bale just did for Vice.
Fucking like just even Heath Ledger literally
Yeah.
died for the
Oh, yeah, right.
Exactly.
Well, Christian Bale has gone through some crazy... He became totally fat for American Hustle, I believe the movie
Yup.
was called. And
I watched that movie.
before that, he got totally skinny, crackhead level for The Fighter.
Yes.
Yeah, for The Fighter. Or is that what it was called, The Fighter? I need to look it up.
Look it up
Because I might be confusing that with a different movie title.
I feel like you're confused.
Christian Bale...
Damn it.
Fighter.
Is it a fighter or is it?
Yeah, The Fighter. It is. The Fighter. Him and Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Which was also a fantastic movie. But go on.
Yep.
Yeah, like the transformation.
No, yeah, but just in general, it's like those are people that I think need more credit in the movie industry because so many people just look at them as like, oh, well, they make millions of dollars, and you're like, oh, whatever, and it's like, I mean, they do a lot. Like they do a lot of preparation for these roles and like to get to their character. Like, I mean, you know, your buddy Jared, your favorite Joker, Jared Leto, did some pretty shitty things. I mean, you've been on the pod and said it before, Frank. You've literally
That he's my
said
favorite
that is your
Joker?
favorite
No shot.
Go back to the film.
I have defended him. I have defended him.
Which makes him your favorite. But besides the fact, I mean, it's
No, a little bit more on that fact. Jared Leto, not Joker related. He also did another big transformation when he was, I believe, transgender in Dallas Buyers Club.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But again, that just goes to show that, like, you know, that's an awesome part of movies that more people need to give credit for.
Yeah.
Because it's not as easy as just put, like, a fat suit on and you're good. Like, again, Christian Bale for Vice gained big Dick Cheney weight. Like, literally Dick Cheney weight, like, to do that movie and stuff. So I always give credit to those people. And, you know, that's all I would say with that. Grinch, one of my favorites. Great movie. Awesome. So funny. I love it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, the Grinch, Jim Carrey's The Grinch is also my number 3. I just love it so much. My favorite, I would butcher the line if I tried it, but when he's just listing off the things, he's like, hate, despise, absolutely loathe.
Yeah.
Hate.
Dude, I love it. absolutely loathe.
Yeah, I think his castle is also sick. Like, or not castle, his domain.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sick.
His mountain cave.
His
Yeah,
mountain
like
cave.
yeah.
He's so good. The way he would get up in Cindy Lou Who face, like I love that. I love it.
It's like
the Grinch.
Exactly.
Honestly, I think he just modeled my young like perception of comedy. Like,
yeah, so
I think
well.
he is just like the cornerstone of humor in my brain.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Jim Carrey is truly the GOAT. Did a great job as Eggman too.
Oh my
Like,
God.
Oh, dude,
That's,
loved
see,
it.
that's
And
something
The
I
Mask,
heard
I
that he
love
did.
it.
Oh my, The Mask is
Ace
dude.
Ventura,
Listen,
get outta here,
Jim
I love
Carrey is, I think, one of the most underrated actors ever because he is kind of one of those people that openly fought with mental health
Yeah.
and like where the stability of where that line is drawn and where it's at, which again people just covered up for so long. And it's something that, especially, like, it doesn't matter where the hell you work, it doesn't matter your profession. Like when we talked about it a while ago with Dak Prescott, oh well, he's a cowboy, he's a football player, he shouldn't have. We all feel these emotions. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. Like,
Yeah.
certain people are trained military. The military is trained to suppress that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Who is the most violent and violated group of people post their careers? It's the military. Those people are fucked up because we teach them to suppress that shit.
Yeah, right.
So, it just goes to show, it's like that's where I give him so much more respect too. Like Robin Williams. People get so mad. They're like, I can't believe he did that. And again, it's like, he sacrificed and gave his whole entire career and never showed us his hand once to give us laughter and positivity.
Yeah.
And we just sat there and said, he's all good. And then when he committed suicide, we were all like, oh man, like I can't believe he would do that. It's like, no one asked him how he was doing.
Yeah.
It was always he was expected to make us laugh or ask how we were doing.
That's right.
So that's where I think Jim Carrey to me is just someone that is so important to people to grow. I've said it, The Truman Show is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Fantastic movie.
One of my favorite movies of all time
Yeah.
because I just think it is masterfully put together, and I think it's one of the most brilliant concepts ever of like, especially in like modern day, like what could exist in modern day of like you are convinced you're living in a real life and it's really just a reality.
Yeah.
So that's my tangent with Jim Carrey, but he's the best. And The Mask rocks. The
Mask is
and Ace Ventura
fantastic, too.
definitely are phenomenal movies.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Alrighty. My number 2 is 2 movies, Home Alone and Home Alone 2. Both are Christmas movies. Both, I would say, equally as good. I don't know if I like one better than the other. What's his name? Macaulay Culkin? Yeah, Macaulay Culkin. He did great as the role. I feel like he didn't even know at the time how good of a job he was doing in the role.
Yeah.
Like he was so iconic. I know he went off the wall for a little bit, but now he seems to be right. He's in bands. He's appearing here and there. Eric Andre show. He's appearing here and there in certain shows and movies and whatnot. So good for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love those movies. One of my favorite lines from it is "You lazy competent." That's my shout out to my grandmother. She loves that line. She cracks up at that line every time. And yeah, that's all I'll really say about Home Alone. We did talk about it a little bit before.
Yeah. 2, right? I'm
Number
on my
2.
Number 2.
Mm-hmm.
A Christmas Story. One of my dad's favorite movies when we were little. So like, I think that kind of is something that also holds more like I hold it to a higher standard because like I always remember like my dad is still to this day, he just works, which I give him so much respect for, but he is not someone that very often sits and gets to watch shows, movies, whatever. So when I was younger and he would like sit down to watch A Christmas Story, I was like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Like, we get to spend that time, and like that's not to say my dad was not there. He was always there, which is great.
Right.
But it's just, it was one of those things that made me feel so much more like, connected to the movie because like he enjoyed it. So I was like, I think I enjoy this, and you have that tie that's not only just Christmas, but like your family.
Yes.
And it's actually convenient because I'm literally wearing a Christmas Story box.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like I literally was like, you know what? I got him a couple like literally like a week or two ago, and I was like, these are gonna come in handy one day. And I'm not gonna strip for the pod, but it says fragile right across the groin area. So I think that's what makes him even that much more funny. Like it's just covered in all the like famous lines, and it's I mean, dude, it's quotable, it's funny, it's great, top notch movie.
Fun fact about that movie, it's really just a whole bunch of short stories piled in all together. And the guy who wrote the movie, and I'm pretty sure he's the narrator. I'm pretty sure he's the narrator. Let me look it up. But I had a TV media class in college, and we studied him for a little bit.
Oh, really?
And he did a whole bunch of like skits and whatnot, and like telling of stories and everything like that were funny, and some of them were pretty informational as well and everything like that. So very respected guy. Let me look up his name real quick. A Christmas Story.
Director, narrator.
Yeah, Gene Shepard.
Okay.
Gene Shepard. He had his own show, the Gene Shepard Show. That's where he was doing all of those skits and whatnot.
Skits and stuff, yeah.
Humorist, radio and TV personality, writer and actor. Yeah, so a little fun fact on that.
Yeah, great movie. You'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
I always wanted a Red Ryder BB gun, too. That's another thing that I always was like, I need that.
All right, Jesse, you got your number 2?
Yeah, my number 2 is also Home Alone, the first one specifically. Yeah, I just love the bandits, the sticky bandits.
The sticky bandits,
The evolution to the wet bandits.
Yeah, the sticky to the wet.
I love them, dude.
What were the names? Harry and...
I want to say Mo.
Marv.
It's Marv.
Marv,
yes.
Marv, yeah.
I want to say Harry, Mo, and Curly.
Dude, there was
Yeah.
a customer at the liquor store, too, that I used to tell everyone that was up at the register with me. He literally... And I would say it every time he'd come in. He reminded me so much of like that old man that was shoveling the salt onto him.
Oh yeah,
Looked
sketchy neighbor.
I was like, dude, I bet he's such a sweet guy because he looks just like that weirdo in Home Alone.
Yeah, which everyone was terrified of. I was terrified of that guy up until that point. I was like, oh shit, he is a good guy.
Dude, him and the
pigeon
lady,
right.
Like,
the
I
pigeon
was gonna
lady.
say they always had that one character that was like menacing looking or something of that nature. And, they ended up being good people.
It's literally the same movie twice.
It's literally the same movie twice.
Yep.
That's probably why I can't debate it that much of which one I like
Who is
better.
it? Did you guys see the meme where it's like Pierce Morgan? Or was it Pierce Morgan?
Oh, yeah. No,
it was like he's the pigeon lady.
Yeah,
He looks identical to the pigeon lady.
You have to see that meme,
dude,
bro.
You'll crack up.
Yeah.
Look up Pierce Morgan, pigeon lady, and it looks very similar. And I think like someone made a meme of it. It was like, yo, stop sending me this shit. And it was him sending a fake text of like, the pigeon lady being him.
All right, we will move on to our...
Yo.
Yeah, right?
See,
Yeah.
right? It's identical. Number 1.
My number 1. It is The Grinch Stole Christmas. Such a classic live action movie. You brought up a great point with all the makeup and everything like that.
yeah.
Much respect for him for that. It also gives me respect, as terrible of a movie as it was, The Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers. He probably had to go through the same type of makeup as well for the cat costume and whatnot.
That movie won 3 Oscars, Frank. So.
Yeah.
Cat in the Hat is good.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not a good movie.
Frank,
That
it won
movie is
3
funny.
Oscars. It literally won 3 Oscars, and the next year he won 2 with The Love Guru. Look it up. Fact check me.
The Love Guru got Oscar.
Look it up. Fact check me. Don't mess with the Zohan. That was a great year in comedy.
That had to have been one of the first movies that I've ever seen Jim Carrey in. It either had to have been that or Ace Ventura or The Mask. It was either those 3.
I feel like The Mask didn't play as much as Ace Ventura did on TV. Like you would very much more like scroll through the channels and find Ace Ventura than you would The Mask.
I wasn't really watching these movies on TV though. We always had like the VHS tapes of
Gotcha.
it, and
Yeah.
my parents would always be
Nowadays,
like,
you'd
"You
be
have to
more
watch
likely
them."
to see The Mask. Like Ace Ventura might get canceled nowadays.
Yeah,
Oh, don't spoil it. That's part of my our cancel culture episode.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yeah, I fell in love with that movie. Jim Carrey is one of the reasons why when I was younger I always wanted to act.
Yep.
Yeah, just literally why.
He was one of the reasons I wanted to be a comedian when I was little.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I loved him.
Exactly. So yeah, fantastic movie. I love Max the dog. The one line, like I said before, the Grinch. Yeah, that one's great. The one with the list. That's a fantastic scene too. And yeah, it's just such a good movie. And that's my number one.
I literally need the world to stop using, like, if you're saying something negative about the holiday season, people literally need to stop saying they're being the Grinch about it, because the Grinch is the hero of the story.
Yeah, literally.
Like, people are still.
What's the mayor of Whoville?
Clear as day.
Yeah.
People are saying like, "Oh, you're
such
the
a
Grinch.
Grinch.
Like, you're such a Grinch." Thank you. Like, and that means I'm the protagonist.
I am
hero
honored
of
for this.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
should be hating like the government of Whoville.
Who's the mayor of Whoville? Yeah, whatever the mayor of Whoville's name. You're such a Ebenezer Scrooge.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
No, well, he's also kind of like, he has a turnaround too. I gotta look up the mayor of Whoville before I.
Oh, like the actor?
No, like his actual.
Oh, like the character name, kind of.
Yeah,
thing?
like
yeah.
who is? I think I'm gonna watch The Grinch tonight.
It's a
Augustus
fantastic movie.
Mayhew.
Augustus Mayhew. Yeah.
Stop being such an Augustus Mayhew. Like, I know it's a word.
You gotta be
Like, bro, look at this man's dude. Like, nobody wants that.
Oh yeah, he's so familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be
With
that.
those Bugs Bunny looking teeth
he looks
too.
Like he belongs in the capital of the Hunger Games.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god.
That's my number one. It's a
Alrighty.
fantastic movie, and yes, I will be watching that very soon as well.
My number one was already alluded to earlier. It hasn't been on my list yet, but Elf is my number one. Absolutely obsessed with Will Ferrell. I think he's amazing. I think he's so funny. I think it's sad to see that towards the end he had a lot of misses towards the end of his career, but I give him a ton of credit. I think he's still a comedic genius when it comes to a lot of it. There's something he helped write and direct, and I can't think of it right now, and it's going to really piss me off. That's something that's good and no
movie?
one knows about it. Yeah.
Oh, that no one knows about.
No, kind of like how Seth Rogen had involvement in...
He has involvement in like all of his movies. What, Pineapple Express?
No. What's the TV show? The Boys. The Boys.
Oh, right.
Like, but nobody knows that. Like, you wouldn't like be like, oh, like Seth Rogen's The Boys, you know? Like, so it's kind of like one of those things where like I give him a lot of credit there. I mean, I watched Elf probably the most as a kid. Like, just like when I got old enough and it came out, I just every Christmas Elf was on, maybe a few times with my family. We all watched it. I quote it still to this day. Like, literally, I say, "Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad," on a daily basis. My girlfriend hates it, but my other go-to line is like, "The Big Apple," like, you know, just like, and I think of him when he like sees New York and just like, the Big Apple.
Yeah.
And I say it wherever the hell I go. I could be in literally like Zimbabwe. I'd be like, "The Big Apple," you know? So just like in general, I loved his shell shock of New York, and then like how innocent he is in the whole movie, I think is what makes it that much more funny. How like he literally like, he's like, "Santa's coming." Santa!
Yeah.
Like, I know him. I know him.
I know.
Like, you know, just like it literally just adds to it so much. I think it's just such a well put together movie. But Elf is my number one.
Alrighty.
My number one is Nightmare Before Christmas. It's just my favorite movie in general. I think it's just a masterpiece. Like, for it to operate as smoothly as it does with perfect lip syncing in the 90s when technology is limited, and the lyrics they make up with those songs are bangers. Like,
bangers.
Yeah.
I listen to them year round.
Yeah, that's a banger.
They make some great remixes too.
Great remixes too. I know. Like Panic at the Disco did a whole album. Like,
oh really?
Fantastic. Panic at the Disco is great in themselves, and then they literally just make the music so good.
Yeah.
They do like heavy metal, like Korn with a K has
Yeah.
some
We love
covers.
Korn. We stand with Korn.
Dude, great music. Oh my god. I can go on and on. I just love the characters. I love Jack, Sally, Zero, Oogie Boogie. Like, every single person there is just a hit. And when I was in middle school, I used to know like literally every single word to the movie, like the entire dialogue of the movie. Can't do it now, but I could probably sing like
You could probably like get a couple lines down though. Like, you'd be sitting
100%.
there, you'd be with a friend, you'd be like,
Yeah.
like in the background, they're like, "What do you say?" Nothing. You're just like, There's magic in the air.
Yeah.
Just like, like, what are you fucking saying? Like,
That's credit on Danny Elfman. Tim Burton made the movie, but Danny Elfman composes a lot of the music in a lot of Tim Burton's movies.
Okay.
And it's there. He never misses. Like Danny Elfman, the goat among goats. I swear to God, and I never hear his name ever. So Danny Elfman, you're a treasure. That's it.
Tim Burton also did the Sweeney Todd.
Yep.
Yes.
Sweeney.
Yeah.
I think of The Office Sweeney Todd as
Yeah.
when the wine bottle slips down. I still
That
laugh to
movie,
this day.
Sweeney Todd?
All right, so when I was younger, I was I am still a big proponent of like I don't watch scary. If I do watch scary, I watch it in like the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
I that was just me as a little kid. I've gotten older now. I watch more shit. When I was a couple years ago, I like watched it. I was like, this is pretty good, but I don't think I was like fully invested. But I think it's a decent movie. Like,
Dude,
I mean,
love it. Like it's Danny Elfman again. He makes a musical fantastic.
Well, I mean, dude, it's the thing is I think with Tim Burton, at the end of the day, he is one of the epitomes of directors that it's like you're either like again, it's not completely, but like there are the diehards, and then there are the people that are like, I just cannot get behind this.
Dude, yeah, it's
where
literally so
again,
true.
like I'm in the middle. Like I like a lot of his stuff. I don't like some of it. But just in general, like that is one of those directors that is so here or there. There is a cult in the middle.
He's
but
such a risk taker.
100%. Yeah, and like good for him. I mean, he does things and he puts his neck out, and a lot of other people won't touch projects, and he makes them good for the most part. What did he just make?
Burden.
Well, I know that he leaked it himself actually because you heard about the whole Johnny Depp thing with
just Johnny Depp in general.
Yeah, well, Tim Burton is like in the midst of making a new Addams Family TV show, and now he's saying he's gonna stop all production and refuse to do it if they don't allow Johnny Depp to continue as part of the team.
I mean,
because listen, they're a legendary foursome. It's like Danny Elfman, Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, and Emily Osment. Emily Osment is who we were looking for, by the way, before. Mm-hmm. She's the woman in Sweeney Todd, and I think she's also...
Oh, she's Harry Potter lady.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Harry Potter guy,
those four, like, whenever those four are in a movie together, they bring the heat every single time. They don't miss. Don't miss. It's great.
Johnny Depp is he's a great actor.
Love him.
You know, regardless of how whatever else goes on behind the scenes and shit, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole nother thing. I mean, we could get into a whole podcast about the shit that goes on with some of these people, you know, and how they get...
Maybe that'll be a part of the cancel culture
Who knows?
episode.
Foreshadow.
That's all you got to say on that one?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, he could spend a whole pod
on the Nightmare
Tim
Before
Burton
Christmas.
pod.
Yeah,
Tim Burton pod, yeah.
I'd be
I was just thinking before, too, Jim Carrey pod.
Oh, don't. Yeah, but here's the problem. If we get into those... We're gonna get to episode 300 before we have another guest. We're just gonna do
part 1, part 2, part 3,
exactly.
part 4.
Jim Carrey, like, I mean, we could do. It could be almost like a mini series. You do 5 of your favorite actors, 5 of your favorite directors, and then do 5 of those, put it in a mini series, like in the episodes, and then you move on to your next whatever. But
100%. But that's our top 5 lists, and that's really it for this episode. I want to wish you guys a very and merry Christmas, happy holidays. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, we are taking a 2 to 3 week break, so I would also like to say happy New Year's as well.
Woo! 2021 is gonna be my year.
Hopefully it's everybody's year.
Hopefully it's a year.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a year. A normal year.
Something we'd like to document.
I would love to put this in a textbook as a good year. Yeah. Thumb up. 1 thumb up. Half a thumb up.
And just your friendly reminder that Frank Gaming Season 2 premieres on January 1st, 2021, starting the new year off right. That's a Friday, Frank Fridays, so make sure to check that out as well. And really, if you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And also follow us on Instagram at Podcast with Frank, where we'll be putting clips of the podcast as well as clips of the gaming series that's coming out soon. And with all that being said, peace out.
Disney basically said it's going to be like the rematch of the century. So like Obi-Wan versus Anakin. So as a prequel, original trilogy fan, I will say that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. When they meet each other on the Death Star and Darth Vader kills Obi-Wan, like before that exchange, they say like it's been such a long time. And that exchange is so genuine because at that point, they haven't seen each other to our knowledge until this point, until possibly what happens. They haven't seen each other since Obi-Wan basically killed Anakin Skywalker. So that's where I'm like torn. I'm in like you know, like I'm torn in the best way possible because I'm either going to get an amazing rematch of two guys and then it's going to explain how they don't see each other for such a long time.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to not get it and they're just going to talk about, you know, what's going on and stuff. But we'll see.